Imagine a man who watched the world carefully, noticing how people behaved, how leaders gained power, and how fortunes could change overnight. He saw both kindness and cruelty, loyalty and betrayal, all in the same world. This man was Niccolò Machiavelli, one of the most famous thinkers about politics and leadership. Niccolò Machiavelli was born on May 3, 1469, in Florence, Italy. As a child, Machiavelli was curious and observant. He liked learning about history and classical books, and he paid close attention to how people acted around him. He noticed who was clever, who was honest, and who used tricks to get what they wanted. These observations stayed with him and influenced his thinking throughout his life. Growing up in Florence, Machiavelli lived in a city full of art, culture, and ideas, but also politics and struggles for power. From a young age, he wanted to understand how people ruled and why some leaders succeeded while others failed. He studied Latin, history, and the works of famous thinkers from ancient times. He learned that people are complicated and that understanding human behavior is very important for anyone who wants to lead. In 1498, when Machiavelli was 29 years old, he started working for the government of Florence. His job as a diplomat took him to other cities and countries. He met kings, princes, generals, and other important leaders. He saw how they acted, how they made promises, and how they sometimes broke them. He witnessed wars, betrayals, and political tricks. From all these experiences, he realized that people often act out of fear, desire, or self-interest, and not always out of goodness or honesty. During his time as a diplomat, Machiavelli traveled a lot. He went to cities like Rome, Venice, and even other countries. Each trip taught him something new. He saw leaders who were brave but foolish, and leaders who were clever but cruel. He learned that success in politics is not just about being moral. It is about understanding people, strategy, and timing. Machiavelli's experiences during these years led him to develop his famous ideas about power and leadership. He believed that a ruler must sometimes make hard and unpopular decisions. A good ruler is not always kind or gentle. In 1513, after the Medici family returned to power in Florence, Machiavelli lost his government job. He was even imprisoned and tortured because he was suspected of plotting against the new rulers. Fortunately, he survived, but he never returned to political office. Instead, he spent his time writing and thinking about what he had learned. During this period, he wrote his most famous book, The Prince. In this book, Machiavelli explained practical ways for rulers to gain and maintain power. He wrote that being honest and moral is not always enough. Sometimes a leader must use clever strategies, act decisively, and even be ruthless. Many people were shocked by this, and some called him cruel. But others admired his honesty and realistic view of politics. Machiavelli also wrote other important works, like Discourses on Livy. In this book, he looked at republics and how governments could work when citizens had a voice. He also wrote about armies and military strategy, because he believed that a strong state needs strong defenses and disciplined troops. Even after losing his job and facing danger, Machiavelli never stopped thinking about politics and leadership. He wrote letters and papers that shared his observations and advice. He studied history carefully, learning from the successes and failures of past leaders. He believed that understanding history is essential to understanding human nature and power. Machiavelli died on June 21st, 1527, at the age of 58. Today, he is remembered as one of the most important thinkers about politics in the world. His name has even become a word, Machiavellian, used for clever, strategic, and sometimes tricky political behavior. But Machiavelli's true legacy is not just a word or a book, it is a way of seeing the world. He teaches us to look carefully at how people act, to understand both the good and the bad, and to face the challenges of leadership with honesty and courage. Whether you agree with him or not, his ideas force us to ask an important question. If you were a leader, what choices would you make when the stakes are high and the world is unpredictable? And maybe that is why, more than 500 years later, Machiavelli's words still challenge, inspire, and make us think. His story is a reminder that understanding power and human nature is never easy, but it is always worth trying.